Fall in Love, Stay in Love by Willard F. Harley, Jr. This book is read by Wayne Shepherd. Originally published by Baker Publishing Group in English as Fall in Love, Stay in Love. Copyright 2001 by Willard F. Harley, Jr. All rights reserved.
This is Dr. Willard F. Harley, Jr., reading my book, Fall in Love, Stay in Love. Part 1, Setting the Stage. Chapter 1, How I Learned to Save Marriages. I've been counseling couples with marital problems for over 40 years, and during that time, I've learned what makes marriages succeed and what makes them fail. But I sure didn't start out knowing that. In fact, my first 10 years of marriage counseling taught me only one thing, that I was not qualified to counsel. Although most every couple I saw was sincerely grateful for my advice, I can't think of a single couple I actually helped. Most of their marriages ended in divorce, and the rest continued to have serious problems. One couple I counseled was my pastor and his wife. The choir director and my pastor's wife were having an affair, and I tried to help end it. I explained to her how the affair was threatening the happiness and success of their children and ruining her husband's ministry, and how the choir director's wife and children needed him just as much as her husband and children needed her. But she replied that since God was a God of love, He had approved her relationship with the choir director by giving her the feeling of love for him. I had come face to face with the irrationality that the feeling of love can create, and I didn't know how to handle it. Eventually, my pastor's wife and the choir director divorced their respective spouses and married each other. The children in both families suffered greatly throughout the entire ordeal, and to the best of my knowledge are still suffering. The church began a downward spiral from which it never recovered, and it eventually disbanded. This tragedy took place because my pastor's wife had fallen out of love with her husband and fallen in love with the choir director. Incidentally, after a few years of an unhappy marriage, the choir director had another affair and divorced my pastor's former wife. My pastor was not alone in the tragedy of divorce. His was just one of a host of marriages caught up in a wave that was overwhelming families in the mid-1960s. This trend toward divorce would escalate over the next 20 years until more than half of all marriages were ending in divorce. I didn't know that at the time. I thought that this failure was at least in part due to my inexperience. I blamed myself, thinking that I should not have tried to give advice, that I should have left it to an expert. Over the next few years, couples kept asking for my advice regarding marriage, especially after I'd earned a PhD degree in psychology. So instead of turning these people away, I decided to learn enough about marriage counseling to help save their marriages. I decided to become an expert. After all, if scientists could send men to the moon, surely they would know how to save marriages. I read books on marital therapy, was supervised by experts in the field, and worked in a clinic that specialized in marital therapy and claimed to be the best in Minnesota. But none of it helped. I was still unable to save marriages. Almost everyone who came to me for help ended up like my pastor, divorced. But in my effort to become an expert, I made a crucial discovery. I wasn't the only one failing to help couples. Almost everyone else working with me in the clinic was failing as well. My supervisor was failing. The director of the clinic was failing. And so were the other marriage counselors who worked with me. And then I made the most astonishing discovery of all. Most of the marital experts in America were also failing. What made me unique among marriage counselors was my curiosity to know if my efforts really worked. Hardly any other therapist I knew wanted to know about the outcome of his or her therapy. Many did not know they were failing because they never followed up on their cases to see how the marriages were doing. But I had access to those cases, so I did the follow-up for them. In the clinic where I worked, I couldn't find any therapists who were actually saving marriages. And to make matters worse, many of these marital experts were divorced themselves.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?